Hey guys, I'm Nicole Danielle and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that you're here. In this video, we are just going to discuss some books that I'm reading, and I don't know what else. I should probably do the intros after I do the videos. That would kind of make sense, right? I do want to share some books that I have been reading. So let's go ahead and jump in it, and then I'll discuss a little bit more. So I've been gone off of my YouTube channel that I kind of launched a couple of years ago, I guess. I've been gone for about a year. And if you watched my homeschool curriculum videos, I think it's my 9th grade that I kind of went a little deeper and just was explaining how very proud I was of my 9th grader this past year at what he did accomplish. And I was just kind of, I don't know, I alluded to what was going on inside of our home. And I have felt some pressure, some weight on me. Like I should tell my story, and I'm not exactly certain that I'm there yet. And I've been kind of wrestling with it because stories are special and they deserve to be honored. There's so much going on in this world right now, and in my friend circle, there's so much pain going on, especially with the women and their spouses, and everybody is getting divorced, and there's so much pain. And I have been led to share, and I've been trying to articulate what that video would look like with a large group of people, when even some of the people in my weekly life don't even know my story. So I was getting a book haul together to share the books that I'm reading, and I was getting ready to sit down and just share everything, and I'm looking at the stack and I'm like, wow, how truly different I am as a person. How truly and completely different I have become this past year. So it was even more profound and even more obvious that I don't think I necessarily owe you guys an explanation of why I disappeared, because I have been on social media, and I have been a little bit more outspoken there. The people that have been paying attention know what's going on. You know, I feel like Yahweh leads the exact right people to you and to your post and into your life, for them or for you or for both of you. And so I was going to go ahead and just make the video, but then I figured I would be sobbing and then I wouldn't be able to make the book video. So I'm going to make the book video, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do from there. And without further ado, here's my books. It's changed. I used to be a fiction person. I used to hate nonfiction. Okay, so the first book that I've read a couple of chapters in here and there, but I have decided to pick it up and read it from the very, very beginning. It's called Grace and Addiction. Can you see that? The author is John Z. The good news of Alcoholics Anonymous for everybody. It's not necessarily an AA book, or it's not for just alcoholics. That's not what's going on in our life. But this book was placed into my husband's hands, and I want to read it. It goes over the 12 steps that they teach. It says, church basements are curious places playing host to the vibrant world of 12-step recovery. They witnessed the sort of healing and redemption that would make those on the ground floor proud and maybe even envious. Yet despite the church and Alcoholics Anonymous both being into the business of bringing hope to the helpless, the two worlds seldom seem to interact. Packed with vivid illustrations, good humor, and practical wisdom, Grace in Addiction attempts to bridge this divide and carry the unexpected good news of AA out of the basement and into the pews and beyond. So it's just the back of the book. I'm excited to read this, if anything, to further my education, my walk that I have been on. The next book that I'm reading is called Boundaries. It is by Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. If you follow me on Facebook, I have posted a lot about this. This book is life-changing. I don't think I'm halfway through with this book. And all the girls that are in my group laugh at me. Ha 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 ha. We have been doing, so I'm in a girls group and we meet over Zoom, and this is the second book I think we've done together, Boundaries. This is a hard book. This is a very hard, challenging, this is like a highly recommended book by me for every human being. If you have breath in your lungs and you are in any sort of relationship with anybody but yourself, you need to read this book. It says, are you in control of your life? People often focus so much on being loving and giving that they forget their own limits. Have you ever found yourself wondering, can I say no and still be a loving person? How do I answer someone who wants my time, love, energy, and money? How do I stand up to hurtful behavior or abuse? Why do I feel guilty when I consider setting boundaries? In this award-winning New York Times bestselling book, Doctors Henry Cloud and John Townsend give you biblically based answers to these and other tough questions. They show you how to set healthy boundaries with your parents, spouse, children, friends, coworkers, social media, and even with yourself. This updated and expanded edition specifically shows how to set boundaries in our increasingly digital world. Unpacking the 10 laws of boundaries, Doctors Cloud and Townsend show you how to bring new happiness and health to relationships. You'll discover firsthand how sound boundaries give you the freedom to walk as the loving, giving, fulfilled individual God created you to be. This is an incredible book. It has a workbook that goes along with it. If you struggle with things like this, if any of this at all registered in your body, in your heart and mind, I encourage you to go ahead and buy this book, buy the workbook. If you're a female, reach out to me. I don't mind going through this again. Of course, after I finish this book, we can start up a new group. There's also a boundaries for teens, a boundaries in marriages. I'm not exactly certain, but you should just go ahead and check it out. It goes over what are boundaries, like what are they? Because I had never heard of boundaries before last June. I did not know what they were. I did not know that we had them. I don't ever know that I've actually heard the word. Yeah, I don't know that I had actually heard of boundaries before everything happened in this home. And yeah, growing up a boundaryless person is a hard life. It goes over boundary conflicts in your families, friends, spouses, children, work, digital age, yourself, and God. And then developing healthy boundaries, resistance to boundaries, how to measure success with boundaries, and a day in a life with boundaries. So we are about, I don't know, we're not halfway through this book. I'm living it. And then this one is another one. This is a homeschool book. If you follow the Charlotte Mason approach, like my children read and narrate to me. And this is Know and Tell, The Art of Narration by Karen Glass. It's wonderful. It's incredible. Your children learn so much when they can tell it back. It's like you truly know a subject when you can teach another person a subject. This is really cool. I had started reading it a couple years ago. I think I kind of skimmed through it and picked out exactly what I needed to know because I was very excited about getting ready, launching into the Charlotte Mason approach. And I just wanted to know instantly. And this is a really good book. I'm going to go back through it and go back through it slower and just pick up everything that I can pick up in it. It says, the art of narration is the art of telling. It extends from the oral traditions of ancient cultures to yesterday's headlines. We all want to tell each other things, and shared communication deepens our relationships and enlightens our understanding. Over 100 years ago, the British educator Charlotte Mason revived narration. I don't even know this word. As a something method. It was practiced in hundreds of schools and homes during her lifetime and has enjoyed a resurgence among homeschoolers over the past several decades. No One Tell examines the process of narration in life and in school. It walks you through the progression of simple telling with young children to developed writing with older pupils. People narrate every day. This book will show you how to make that natural activity a vital part of education that enhances students' understanding and relationship with knowledge while allowing them to grow into skilled communicators. This is really incredible, especially for young children, especially for homeschooled young children. And you know, back to that like one room schoolhouse approach, which I think was completely incredible, and we should do that in our own neighborhoods and drop the entire like whatever, one teacher with one neighborhood with all of the children. That's a dream come true. But when you have a small group, you can interact with the child. They can tell you what they're doing, and they can tell you what they've read, and they can tell you their understanding. They can recite their math facts. They can recite their science facts and whatever. And what happens in our public schools when it's one teacher with 30 children, like she can't sit there and take the time to listen to every single child. She can't call them up individually and listen to all of their lessons. And so you have to do all of the paperwork, right? Like all of the children are at their desks and they have to write everything down that they know so the teacher can grade them. And what happens is, especially in boys, they are struggling writers for a long time. And those first couple of years are super crucial to developing their love for writing and storytelling and learning, to where you get these really defeated small children that think they're ignorant because they cannot do something. They cannot write well, so they must be stupid. And it's heartbreaking. And so the narration for us relieves all of that. My children can read a book and they can get so excited about it, and they can narrate to me for 10 minutes. And it can be incredible. They can narrate longer than that, especially if they love it and they gleaned so much out of it, and they're taking away ideas from their readings instead of, okay, you've read a couple paragraphs, now you need to write about it. I'm going to get like 2 sentences because they hate writing. They're not good at it. They struggle with it. This is what they're telling. My children are excellent writers, but they think that they are not good at it. They think they are not effective storytellers. And what is the point? And why do we have to do that? And so if they can just tell it back to you, you both learn so much more. And through that process, they stick it back in a good memory, a holding, whatever that's called. And they can pull it back out later, years and years later. Love that book. You probably didn't need that explanation. My homeschool philosophy. The next book is called No Longer Little. No Longer Little by Hal and Melanie Young. If you stick around much longer, if you've been around for any length of time, you guys know that I love Hal and Melanie Young. I listened to their parenting tweens talk at the homeschool conference, And this is something that they said it was just a couple chapters out of this book, so I instantly went and purchased this book. I'm very excited to start reading this book. I have not yet. I purchased it at the homeschool conference, and I've been crazy busy ever since. Nobody tells you what to expect. Sometime between 8 and 14, even terrific kids can become a challenge. Compliant kids turn combative. Diligent students disappear into a fog. Faithful children fill up with doubts. They ride an emotional roller coaster and invite you to climb aboard. Don't get a ticket for that ride. Instead, here's help to understand what's going on physically, mentally, and spiritually. Learn how discipline needs to change to stay effective. Find out how to help them get the schoolwork done. Get practical strategies for dealing with emotional meltdowns. Protect the parent-child relationship and lay a foundation to make the teen years great. I already have 2 teenagers. I have a 10-year-old. I quickly see preteen years like coming, and I just want to improve. You know, we did it okay with the first one. I was not okay with the second one, and I just want the third one to be better. Get that book. Read that book. So my next book that I was just gifted this book. I'm so excited about this book. I wanted to read this book since the author started talking about it. I don't know how many years ago, but he announced that it was coming out, and I was like, ooh, I need that book. Ooh, I need that book. And I never did buy the book. And so I'm really excited about reading this book. This is called Immortal, or I'm Mortal, by Lex Meyer. The truth about heaven, hell, and the resurrection. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. 1 Corinthians 15:53. Lex is on YouTube. Lex Meyer is on YouTube. He has the channel Unlearn the Lies. He was kind of instrumental in my faith walk when I first came into the full knowledge of Scripture being applicable in our lives. This says, find out what the Bible really says about eternal life. Did you know that many of the popular Christian beliefs about eternal life are not based on scriptures, but actually come from pagan origins? Learn the biblical truths about life after death and why the gospel message is so important. Has the central message of the gospel been lost? Learn why anyone who preaches the gospel deprived of this one fact is teaching a worthless gospel. All right, Lex. Get answers to questions like, what does the Bible say about heaven and hell? What makes our faith different from all other religions? What did the apostles teach about life after death? So Lex Meyer, I'm really excited about this one. I can't tell you that I'm going to agree with everything that he says. I don't know, but I'm very excited about it because I have a vastly different belief about heaven and hell than most of my mainstream Christian friends. And that's all I'm going to grab that book. Or, I guess I can't really highly recommend it right now because I have not touched it, but go check out his YouTube channel and see what you think. Okay, sorry about the noise because I was thinking. This one is so good. This one's the last one I've got for you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Another one of Hal and Melanie Young's books. I adore them. It says, My Beloved and My Friend. I am a couple of chapters into this one. It's so cute so far. I love it so much. How to be married to your best friend without changing spouses. Really fun. They are so fun. Again, another one of their talks that I listened to at the homeschool conference. They're just incredible people. If they can raise 8 children, 6 of them being boys, and be thriving the way they're thriving, I want to know all of their knowledge. I want them to I just want to sit in a room with them and soak all of their knowledge and wisdom up. I just want to be a sponge. It says, more, better, not just good, but great. That's what we all want from marriages. Love, romance, security, respect. We want encouragement and, well, happiness. Is there a way to make your marriage even better? To make it holy, happy, and a lot more fun? Yes. My Beloved and My Friend takes a biblical look at what your marriage can and should be, and gives you practical ways to make your mate your best friend without changing spouses. So this is really cute. They're great people. They have a podcast, and I don't know if they're on YouTube. I feel like they're not. I feel like people share their videos from them. I don't think they actually have a YouTube page. But they do have, they do run a podcast, and they have written several books, and they have a website, Hal and Melanie Young, and then Living Waters Press, Great Waters Press, where they sell like homeschool curriculum and books. They have some audio books and things that they've done. They've got like crates for boys to keep them going, swords and guns, and they're really fun. Chainmail, I think, like literal chain soldiers, warriors. Okay, moving on. So those are my books. I can't promise you that I am gonna do that other video. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but I was hit really hard when I was looking at my stack of books that I am currently reading or have added to start reading. Do you guys read a ton of books at the same time? I used to think that you couldn't do it, but it's actually really incredible, and it's really incredible what your brain can remember. Also, fun fact, I started reading a book when I was a child, like a teenager. What is it called now? I've always remembered the name of it until right this second. I'm going to try to find it because I still have it. But I started reading it. Death in the Moon Indigo or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll link it below. I started reading as a teenager, and I never finished it. And it just moved from house to house with me, and child after child was born. And then just a couple of years ago, I picked it back up right where I left off. I didn't even start over. I just picked it because I remembered the story, and it was so good. As a detective, somebody, some kids found bones or something on the beach, and anyway, yeah, and I picked it up and I finished reading it. I was like, wow, why did I not finish that a long time ago? Okay, that is just the feeling that I was left with in the book. I felt like it was a good story to read. In my current life and in my current faith walk, I don't know if I would recommend it. I don't remember. I just remember feeling like, wow, that was a good story. So I'll go find that and link that as well. Well, isn't it so weird what your brain does? It's like what it can't remember and then what it can't remember. Like, I don't remember anything that happened yesterday, but I can remember that story for 20 years. Expanded over 20 years. Okay, moving on. What are you guys reading? Drop them below. What should I read next? What do you guys think that you'll pick up any of these books? Yeah, so that's it. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thanks for being here, and thanks for making it to the very end. You are not one of the 5-minute viewers. Give yourself a pat on the back. And with that, I will talk to you guys later. Bye for now. See you later. Over 100 years ago, oh my goodness gracious. The British it was a gnat. Learn how to discipline needs and to change to stay effective. Wow. That's what I said the first time. Find out how to get help that